Let's drop that www next time. Just say JT.
I thought it too.
I think you guys.
Because technically you forgot the HTTP
HTTP//
www.
Okay, can I say it over? Actually,
slacking.
no,
You are slacking.
And welcome back to the Riley Black Project, Crystal and John.
Hey.
Forewarning, this is the nighttime recording.
It is.
This one's going to be yawning the entire time. It's not because our guest is boring.
We're going to have like nighttime recording disclaimers every time.
Yes, every time, because you like to yawn during these shows. So you're fighting it.
I am.
Good job. She fought it. She won the battle.
For now. The more I suppress it, the more it's like, come out.
So this episode is brought to you by
Katie with Monarch Pine. Check out her new website for your jewelry findings and blanks. She's come out with some really cool new stuff lately. monarchpine.com. Use code Riley Black for 10% off. If you're a patron, though, you get a sweeter discount.
That's right. All patrons get sweeter discounts, so it's a great time to join Patreon.
It is.
And if you are a patron, be sure you're part of the TRBP Hangout Facebook group. That's where we put all the extra bonuses.
And the After Darks.
And the After Darks are there. But if you're not a patron, don't worry, we got you covered. Join Riley Black Project Community Facebook group, and there it's all things about the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's all the things.
It's all the things.
Today's if you watched yesterday because we recorded it yesterday.
Yeah.
But if you watched last week and you noticed during the names, if you caught it because it was sped up, because there's so many names, we got to speed it up.
Right.
There was one name that was like, oh, it was this, but now it's this. So that's who we have on the show today. And would you like to introduce one of your besties?
Oh, sure. So we have previously, still kind of, but Jersey Girl Sign Shop, aka Jess. And there's this strange man next to her. His name is Alex.
Only strange to you. I have his hoodie. I follow him on Instagram.
I do too.
We send each other reels.
Right.
He's my bestie.
Yes. But Jess, tell us briefly.
You didn't say the name of the new company.
JT Financial Studios.
God.
Sorry. This is not normally my job, okay?
I know. See how hard it is?
So tell us about JT Financial Studios. Where did this come about? If they watched your last episode, they may have some hint as to, what it is. But tell us more.
So JT Financial Studio, we offer virtual bookkeeping, mainly geared towards the laser community and other creative makers. We also offer tax preparation, but our main bread and butter is the bookkeeping side of things. I have 15 years experience in the tax service industry. So I am trying to build this business so I can eventually leave my full-time and create this business income as my full-time income.
Nice. And so what does Alex do?
What does that guy do?
Just stand here and look pretty.
There you go.
I'm actually going out, finding the leads, taking the calls, meeting with people.
Nice.
So I'm on that end of it, responding for her, and then we book a call. And you initially call me, and then the next, if we find out what services you need, and then we take it to the next level. I get her on the call, and we introduce the team to the potential client.
Nice. And is that partially is the sales part hard for you, Jess, or just did you want to make it a team effort? What was the reason for the roles, I guess? Obviously she has to do the tax prep, but
It was a little bit of both. I am not the salesy talker type person when it comes to that aspect. Alex is very good at that, and I wanted it. We agreed that it would be a team effort, so I wanted to figure out a role that he would thrive in, and that is where he would thrive versus me doing it, and then also me doing the work as well. So
right,
I think that it was a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I have no problem having a conversation with people, you know.
Like the rejection part of hearing no, like we're not ready to move over, or no, we don't want to work with you. I take it personal while he just moves on to the next.
Yeah.
As a guy,
similar.
we deal with a lot of rejection.
You've had some practice.
Prior to our roles now, there's a lot of no's when you're a single man.
Yeah.
We've been trained.
Yeah. Well.
Right. That's true. So tell me about, so you and I were both kind of starting new businesses when the other businesses hadn't really, like, they're not gone. They're just, they've taken a little bit of a back seat. But tell me about the process of setting it all up, because with, our audience being other makers and business owners, and maybe haven't gone through the process of, actually filing for their LLC. Are you an LLC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then creating your website and all of that. Tell me about that process. Because, like, her and I were going through that at the same time, and we were both having some, just frustrations. There's just so many little pieces to it. And
so since we're just starting out, I figured LLC is the best way to go. It separates us personally from the business side. We're not making enough money for it to be an S-Corp just yet. So LLC is the way to go, because then eventually we can turn into an S-Corp. So we did the registration with the state, got the EIN from the IRS, which is free. And the next step would be to open business bank accounts with that business name and move forward with the website, which the website was harder than I imagined.
It always is. I've done several of them, and I'm always like, oh yeah, this is fine. My own brain gaslights me. It's like, you got templates, or you got, like, there's things, the website builders, and
there's
it's
AI.
like, website builders make it easier, but they don't make it easy necessarily. There's just so many pieces and customizing it, and
So my other website for Jersey Girl is on Shopify, which for me, it was really hard to figure out how to build that out. So for this website, since it's not a product that I'm selling, it's a service, I went with Squarespace, which actually the templates for Squarespace worked for this type of business. It was easier. So it wasn't easy, but it was easier to build out this website versus the Shopify for Jersey Girl. Still, I had a lot of researching, a lot of chat GPT. What do I do here? How do I fix this? How do I, embed a link, and how do I code, and how do I put colors? So, like, there was a lot of back and forth of research. I mean, I think it took me almost a whole month.
Which is insane, because just not that long ago we were writing code on MySpace.
I was gonna say,
set us up for this.
This is what happens when the generation doesn't have MySpace,
right?
So you don't know how to put music in, and the glitter, and it takes 2 hours to load your page.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Or even before that, when we had to figure out, the AOL.
Which we also offer that as well, helping people set up their businesses, because we understand that's a little confusing.
Which part?
Yeah, the actual formation of the business, we do offer that service.
Oh, nice.
We're located in New Jersey, but I've registered businesses in every state, so that's not an issue either.
Yeah.
If the jump from being a sole proprietor to an LLC, if they want to separate the entity from themselves, we do offer that service as well.
Yeah.
That can be, I know for me, it was scary. I always like going to the state websites and setting them up. It's always nerve-wracking, because you don't know if you're doing it right. You don't know, like, you're scared to, mess that stuff up. So, and when we actually filed so first I did sole proprietor, but then we had our tax, lady Katie, who we've had on before, she set up the LLCs for us for Riley Black Designs and Riley Black Media, and that was huge. Honestly, it was so nice to not have to be able to worry about that. So it's good that
we do offer the formation of businesses. We'll get you the tax ID letter. We'll register with the state, and then we'll give you all the documentation through our client portal that we offer. our secure portal, and those documents will be available to you within 24 hours.
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than the Crazy Laser Dad's Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced and tested and ready to use on your laser. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for your customers.
Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their Laser Ready Blanks. Hey guys, how great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape the 9-to-5 and embrace a lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Above and Beyond webinar, where you'll learn how you can make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head on over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Above and Beyond webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
Bye. Yeah, and whether you set it up yourself or you use Jess and Alex, the heads up to anybody, like if you're operating and you haven't really like filed yet or registered with the state or whatever, when you do, whether you do sole proprietor, LLC, whatever, you're always going to get a bunch of scammers by letter that always look real.
Yep.
And they're not. And they want to charge you
for
like $50 to $100 plus for documents that you can get for free. But they know as a new business owner, you likely don't know that.
Right.
And they skirt around the rules by putting little like tiny notices that this isn't from the state of Florida or wherever. But
Yeah.
heads up for
Well, and they kind
'cause-
of send it to you, so it kind of makes it easier because you just fill it out and they can for a fee. So I mean,
it's not easier. It's super easy on the website to get all of that.
yeah,
stuff.
but you have to know where to go. And like you
I
said, as a new
guess
business owner, you're not
$100
sure.
for someone to
Right.
like look it up for
Right.
you is
Right.
crazy.
But that's why we're here to tell you not to do that.
Call us. You can take that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's a document that actually gets sent in Jersey. For whatever reason, this document looks so official. It's an $80 charge, and everyone asks us if it's a scam, and it is. It's a
Yeah.
scam.
Yeah.
Earlier you had mentioned the LLC and S-Corp and how you're not, making enough for the S-Corp level. Tell us about like what those differences are and why you would choose one over the other.
So when you're doing an S-Corp, it makes more sense when you have a larger net income at the end of the day, because in that case, you can then take a salary on like a W-2. You're allowed to take a salary. You're allowed to take distributions from your business. With an LLC, you're not. It's not legal for you to take a salary. So you're only allowed to take distributions from the business. And in that case, when you're taking a salary, you're expensing not just the salary but the employer taxes as well. So those all come off of your gross income, which lessens, your tax liability at the end of the day.
And in fact, you can start off as an LLC and move up, but you
Yes.
can't go in reverse. So you
Yes.
can't start as S-Corp and go back to LLC.
Well,
Interesting.
Yeah, you can actually. It's a
Okay, so you-
process. It's a process to go back to an LLC from an S-Corp, and the IRS actually has to approve it. But you can't go back easily.
Yeah, let's just say it's not really possible because it's a hassle.
Well, and why is that? Why do they make it so difficult? Is it so that people don't like go back and forth potentially just to avoid like tax stuff, or?
Yeah, I've only had, in all my years working in this industry, I've only had one person actually do it and get approved for it.
Oh, okay. And what was their reason for doing it at the time?
This person sold their medical practice for $13 million.
Whew.
And he wanted to stay on as like a CEO. But because of the structure of the business, he couldn't keep the S-Corp in his name because then he's liable for the income of that business.
Okay.
So in order to keep the business name but not have to pay tax, he actually went from an S-Corp to just a corp in that situation. But his business name is still LLC.
So what are some things that you guys like help take off of their plate?
Well, biggest thing is monthly bookkeeping.
The biggest thing is clarity.
Clarity. I'm going to get there. I feel like the biggest issue with smaller businesses, their biggest issue is they don't know where they stand. That is what I hear from mostly every person that has come to me and asked for our services. I don't know where I stand. I don't know if my business is making money. How do I know if I'm profitable? How do I know that I'm charging enough money? How do I know what business deductions I can take and can't take? So those things, they need to be known for the financial clarity to grow your business. And unless you have clean books and you're on top of it every month and you're categorizing and reconciling, you don't really have the financial clarity to move forward with your business.
That's super easy to get lost.
Yeah. I mean, I had somebody who came to me. She had 2 years worth of QuickBooks that needed to be fixed. Somebody was helping her for free. And they integrated 2 things at once that were doubling her transactions. So we had double income, not double expenses for whatever reason. And she ended up filing her tax return with that incorrect information. And she owed a lot of money. I then fixed it for her and we were able to fix her tax return for her as well. And going forward, we were able to stay on top of it monthly. I can give her a P&L, a profit and loss, which shows her income, her expenses, and her net income at any point in time. And she's very happy with that. And this year, since we know how her business was running, we actually restructured her from a sole proprietor to an S-Corp because she was so profitable.
Nice.
And we actually saved her $10,000 on her taxes.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what would it look like coming to you guys and working with you? Because you say monthly basis. So what does that like entail for the maker, your client?
So our process, I try to keep it as simple as possible. I usually ask for like admin access to bank statements. If someone's not comfortable with that, I'm open to them sending me the documents on our portal every single month. And then from there, we go through the expenses. If we have any questions, we'll, chat with them or send an email, and we'll make sure everything's categorized. Reconciliation is the most important part. I feel like that part is missed across the board with a lot of people. They don't realize that that's a process that needs to be done within QuickBooks. They don't know it's even an option. So reconciliation means that you're matching all of your expenses on your bank statement to the QuickBooks file, and you're literally clearing them out. And when your balance is 0, you know that your bank statement matches your QuickBooks file and all of those deductions are accounted for.
And then that way, so you're not scrambling when it's tax time to get your books in order. Everything will be ready month by month. So.
Was it an easy choice for you to help out laser owners and makers? Like, why did you choose to kind of make that part of your focus?
I felt like there was like a disconnect between a lot of accountants and this specific community, just because of all the news of revenue that people have within the community. Shopify, Etsy, Fair, when they take Venmo, or when they have in-person craft shows. Right. There's a lot of streams of revenue that people don't know how to categorize. Also, the expenses. A lot of people don't realize, that their Shopify fees or their Etsy fees are deductible, or those Etsy files that you bought for a design, you can write that off. So there's a lot of things that most accountants don't realize that our business uses. And being a maker myself, I feel like I know the vendors, I know the products, I know where the revenue is coming from. So it just makes it a little bit easier for me to understand this specific community for tax purposes.
And what are some of the, I know this is kind of on the spot as far as, but what are some of the like common mistakes that business owners make when it comes to, their taxes and bookkeeping?
Well, most common mistake is they're not using a software. I see a lot of people using Excel. Excel is not, there's no cross-reference, there's no checking. There's no reconciliation process in Excel. So if you're not using a software like QuickBooks, for example, you're leaving money on the table and it's costing you money. So that in itself is a major issue.
Missed deductions, probably,
Oh,
I'm sure.
Missed deductions.
Yeah, if you're not tracking, it's like everything will go by the wayside so fast.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that they can write off part of their their home because their workspace is there. That's a huge missed deduction that a lot of people don't even think about, and that includes a portion of your mortgage, that includes a portion of your insurance, your utilities, your cell phone bill. I mean, if you're using your cell phone for sending DMs or sending emails or calling people, you can write off a portion of those expenses, and that gets overlooked a lot of times from people that I've spoken to and looked at their books from previous years.
What kind of deduction do we get for adding perforated film advertisements to the back of our vehicles?
That's our marketing.
100% advertising.
Yeah.
So the car or just the film?
I think both.
Well, you do.
Is the car damaged now?
I mean,
No.
depends on what you consider.
It's not
That was a
damaged.
joke.
Well, definitely the advertising part of it. But if you're using your car to go to the post office and to go pick up craft supplies at Hobby Lobby and to go to Michael's, and you have to consider your gas and your mileage and all the things. That's your time, and you need to take that as a deduction.
The Riley Black Project is sponsored by Monarch Pine.
Monarch Pine is your trusted source for premium laser blanks and jewelry findings. From large loop earring hooks made specifically for acrylic and wood earrings to laser-tested stainless steel necklace and bracelet blanks, they have everything you need to bring your creative ideas to life.
As a maker, you know the value of quality supplies. And that's exactly what Monarch Pine delivers. Whether you're crafting as a hobby or running a full-time business, their products make it easy to design confidently and create stunning pieces.
Head to monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack to get 10% off your order. Riley Black patrons get an even bigger discount, so don't miss out.
While you're at it, join the Monarch Pine Craft Supply Insiders Facebook group. It's a vibrant community where makers share tips, inspiration, and their incredible creations.
Monarch Pine, where your creativity takes center stage. Visit monarchpine.com and use code RileyBlack today.
Not tomorrow.
Today.
Are you tired of endlessly joining jump rings?
There's gotta be an easier way.
Are your wrists aching after numerous orders? Introducing Keychain Thingies, the time-saving solution for anyone making keychains.
It's so fast and easy.
These revolutionary plastic thingies make large or multiple orders a snap. So easy, even a child can do it.
That was so easy.
So what are you waiting for? Go to keychainthingies.com and order now. Keychain Thingies will change your life. However, they should not be used to cure any medical ailments, repair broken relationships, or help lose weight. Do not use Keychain Thingies unless you want to save time and aggravation.
I'm curious. Well, not curious. I know your background, but I think the viewers would love to hear a little bit more about Alex, your background, and what you were doing before or are continuing to do while starting this venture.
So my background, actually, funny enough, I own a shop. I do custom metalwork, restoration, custom cars, bikes, paint work, all the cool things, right? But part of me wanting to join this as well, aside from the bias of her being my wife,
Right.
there was a lot of things that I was losing on in my business because I wasn't tracking or I wasn't doing it. I'm like, I'm not going to put the pressure of my business on her, even though she's constantly like, let me help you.
Right.
So finally, when I let her help me, she was like, what the hell have you been doing? Because like when you're in the middle of it and you're grinding, you're just not paying attention. It's like there's no hour a day at a time for trying to do everything.
Yeah, and that actually brings up a good point. Most people don't go into business to become an accountant and figure out the business finance side of it. Most people want to run their business, and they want to, especially in this community, they want to be the maker, and they want to design, and they want to go out there and talk to customers and figure out their suppliers. They're not doing this to become an accountant and open up QuickBooks that has 500 transactions that need to be categorized at, in January before tax time, when they're struggling to have, some financial clarity, and they,
it's hard enough ordering the supplies, making the content,
Yeah.
wearing all the hats,
Right.
especially when you're by yourself, So,
Yeah, and most people in this community are by themselves. They are doing all of these things, and I feel like that the business finance side is so often overlooked, especially for beginners, because whether they're a hobbyist or they're just starting out, they think, oh well, like I don't need to track that stuff. But if you want to grow and you want to continue this business, this beyond being a hobby, you need to start off right, so then you continue in those steps when you do become larger or more profitable.
So like one of like the early conversations we had when we were thinking about doing this, she came to me and told me a story about a client that she's been helping. And I don't know if you want to take it away with the numbers, because I'm not the numbers guy here. But go ahead, you can tell them how much money you like save this one client. I mean, don't tell them about the business, obviously.
No, I won't. But well, it wasn't saved. It was found. It was actually found money.
So it's found money.
Yeah.
Even better.
Right.
I took over a client, and I was doing some back review of his payroll specifically, and I realized that for years prior, his older accountant was doing something on paper that was supposed to be done electronically. When it's done electronically, things are automatically calculated. When it's done on paper, things are not automatically calculated. So when someone thinks that they know something and they do it on paper, it's not checked. So I found this client $173,000 worth of refunds that was due to him for 2.5 years.
$173,000. Sorry.
What was the finder's fee on that?
Right.
I got a little portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little portion of it, not much, but
I'm not good at percentages, but it wasn't a good percentage.
It wasn't enough. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Right.
I got a really nice thank you.
Right.
But I was shocked. That was the biggest thing I've ever found for a client of mine. But the fact that this got overlooked by 2 other accountants and it was never found, I was like beside myself. So aside from obviously the huge number, I like to be a fixer. I like to look into things. I like to know the reason. I like to fix, and I like it to be correct. So I mean that's really where I thrive at my full time, and I want to bring that into this business, because I feel like that will really help give smaller businesses more clarity from the start. And then if we have issues, then obviously I'm here to help them to fix it and then to move forward. No judgment. I know how it is being a maker myself and being behind on finances, or figuring out QuickBooks and then having to do tax returns. I totally get it. So no judgment on my end, but I've been there, and I mean that was crazy. Yeah. It was a crazy time with this client. I mean, it shocked himself, and then he asked, how do you know I'm going to get the money back? I said, well, I have information here from the state, and this person verified that this money is just sitting in an account waiting for you to claim it.
Damn.
Wow.
And within 8 weeks, he got 6 checks.
Wow.
Get
That's
one.
crazy.
Let's just get one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just one. Just give me one. Maybe the biggest.
So like after that story, I was like, babe, like you have a superpower. You're not just the bookkeeper. You're also you're the accountant. So that handles businesses. Like if you're putting these together constantly, you're figuring things out that are, like a lot of bookkeepers are just punching in numbers and not looking at things. They're kind of just like, oh, I guess this goes here. I guess this goes there. She actually, and also the fact that she's a maker, she actually knows where things need to go.
Yeah.
So we noticed that. Was it 2 years ago now? We were in a makers group.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in like a online kind of call, like a weekly call with makers, and they would constantly ask her tax questions because they were so, and there was like all across the board, every maker you can think of, like woodworkers, 3D printers, like everything across the board, laser operators. So it was kind of like already started in that group where like, hey, maybe you should offer. I don't know if you remember, like a little while ago, she was doing some content on her page, kind of talking about tax work.
Yeah.
So that was the guy running the group. He's like, you should start talking about taxes because that's what you know. Share the information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's developing, I guess, but like now with the
Yeah, with some restructuring at my full time within the next 4 to 5 years, I kind of had to pivot myself and make sure that I can make this my full time, so I can leave that job.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's much like kind of like me with video services. It's great to be in the community because you know what they need. On your end, you kind of know what like deductions that might be easily overlooked for them.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have an idea of what their books would look like. Just from doing it yourself and purchasing materials and stuff like that.
The pain points that are unique to them, like, I mean, again, same with the video. There's not a lot of people in the industry who are focusing on teaching video and that kind of stuff. And, content creation is a pain point, so just finding that if you have a community, whether, it be the laser community for, talking to the listeners, if there's something that you do that might be in addition to the laser that is like your main job or what you did before you became a laser maker, and finding that gap where you may know more than on that one subject than the other makers who, again, are wearing 25 hats and don't know any of them at a necessarily professional level. They know just enough to get by. And speaking back on the financials part, Samita found out the other day for the first time that I have a finance degree. And I've talked about this a few times on the podcast, because when I do mention it, I say that my finance degree basically taught me that I don't want to do finance. I barely made it through school. At the time, I was working in accounting for an oil and gas industry. I was paying drilling invoices and reconciling those, and I too found $150,000 or something like that they shouldn't have paid, and I got some gift cards or some big thank yous.
Which even that was a little like, can I do? Because they were very restricted with what they.
They were very limited on like legally like what they could like give me and stuff. If they could have, they probably would have given me more. But like even then. But with that, I went to school for finance because it applied to what I was doing, and they gave. I could get a free degree, basically free schooling, as long as I got a C or better. And by the time I realized it, I absolutely hated it. I was already like 6 years in, so I was like, let me just finish this.
Finish now.
And I did learn a lot, but it kind of gave me the false sense of like, oh, I can do this on my own. And, months and months would go by and I haven't reconciled anything. I haven't organized anything. I had no idea what the heck to do with this or that, what could be deducted. I knew that certain things could be like deductions, but then I knew that there was like different types of deductions and like all of that. And I don't know if I think I did 1 year of taxes on my own. And then I remember she asked me a bunch of things like, the profit and loss and statements and stuff like that. And I was like, I mean, I know what those are because I learned about those in school. But I don't have one of those on my stuff. So the first thing, I wouldn't say hired, but I guess it's hired, but like outsourced with my business was bookkeeping. And at the time, 5-6 years ago, One, I didn't know where to start. Thankfully, I had asked my friend Mindy, and she actually had a friend, local
Right.
friend, who did that. So I was able to reach out to them. And then I procrastinated on reaching out to them forever because I assumed it was that was only for like people who were making a lot of money. And I wasn't making a lot of money at the time.
Right.
But I was already to the point where I needed professional help for my finances.
You still need professional help.
And my books. I have professional help for my finances. Thank you very much.
Yes.
The other stuff, not yet. I'll get there.
We're working on it.
Right, we're working on it. But when I finally reached out to them, at the time, I think it was like $150, $175 for the quarter. And I did the math, and it was something around like $50, $60 a month. And I was like, wait, I can pay someone $50 or $60 a month to like do this for me? Like, are you crazy? And, it didn't come with all the bells and whistles. Again, I didn't have tons of transactions because, I was small beans at the time, but it was like the largest weight off of my shoulders to not have to worry about that anymore. I am not I need to get my shit together as far as my finances now. I have the hired person, Katie, but I just with the studio and everything, and I need to at the very least send in my statements and my notes and all that stuff can come later. But yeah, I just. If you're struggling with it now, find someone. Reach out to Jess and Alex first, see if it's a good fit for you. Even if if they're not it, like it's kind of like a therapist. Yeah. You got to find that right fit for you,
But you definitely need it.
But you definitely need it because it's just, again, you're leaving potentially money on the table. You're potentially putting yourself at risk if like you get audited and they look into your finances, especially if you're making a ton of money. A lot of people we've had on the shows kind of accidentally find success.
Right.
And so now all of a sudden you're making $10, $20, $100,000 potentially, and you don't know what to do with that and make sure that you're filing that stuff
or
correctly.
what you were doing before, you got away with it because it wasn't
because you flew under the radar because you were like one of the little guys.
But now you're making money and you continue those practices like, oh, we got them.
Yeah. So, Jess, I know it's hard because I always struggle with the Riley Black Studios when people ask the prices. I always like second guess, one, what they are, and two, if I'm charging enough for too much. But I guess just briefly tell people like what is the cheapest package that you offer for people, and like where can they get started, or what can they expect to spend either with you or industry wide for someone to take care of that bookkeeping and stuff for them.
Okay.
See, there you go.
And here's the pricing sheet.
Good job, Alex.
We actually have specific pricing tiers for makers, specifically for people that are just starting out.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody that's not ready to, have a full blown bookkeeper, but maybe they want somebody professional to give them a review, quarterly or monthly, or
yeah.
I'm open to anything if someone needs help. So the cheapest option that we have is for somebody who needs a monthly review of their books. I won't be doing the books. That's for somebody who wants to do their own, but they just want me to look over it. And that includes an email check-in with them every month to just, give them my suggestions or make changes. And that starts at $45 a month.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
The next tier is for somebody who actually is ready for me to do their bookkeeping. They have one bank account, one credit card, and that includes monthly financials. So that includes profit and loss, so they can see where they stand at the end of the month, and email support. Any questions or concerns, they can email me anytime. That starts at $95 a month. We also offer a quarterly mini maintenance package. This is also for somebody who does their own books. They want a review for the quarter. And this also includes 1 hour of my time to clean up anything that I think is incorrect or needs to be fixed. And then they're often walk back to them with notes, and we would also have an email exchange as well. Any questions or concerns, we would go back and forth. And that's $99 for the quarter.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. That's huge. I think that's a great place to start because one, maybe you're just starting out and you don't need, you don't have a ton of transactions and stuff to send to them. With the $45 one, would that include kind of like, tips on like, like how to like account them, like do it correctly when they're doing it themselves?
Yeah, for sure. I would give them any tips that I can think of to help them maximize their deductions. I just wouldn't be the one doing the bookkeeping. They would have to do those things themselves.
I know like it could get like crazy, but like for like the end of year taxes, do you have something like that where they can just come and like you file the taxes for them?
Yeah, absolutely. We do offer tax preparation services as well. The pricing for that really depends on what else is included with their taxes and also the structure of their business. If they're an LLC or a sole proprietor, that's within their personal tax return. If they have set themselves up as an S-Corp for whatever reason, that is a separate business entity filing. So that's a separate tax return plus their personal. And then obviously, if they have a spouse that has W-2 income or another 1099 or they have a mortgage or property taxes and there's other things going on, that all depends on the price.
So what are Alex, was there something you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say that like when you go to the website, there's an intake form that like a quick questionnaire that gets filled out, and we kind of gauge from there like what package
what you need,
work for you. I mean, obviously it's up to you at the end of the day, but we kind of recommend what's going to work best for you based on the services that we offer.
Yeah, and this is for people that are really just starting out. We do have our full service package for established businesses that starts at $300 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for people that are well-established businesses that are they're rolling and they're ready for somebody to just fully take on the bookkeeping, and they just want to keep going.
Yeah.
Would any? I'm sorry. Just because you
keep forgetting my question.
Sorry, because you mentioned like for a company that's already rolling, would that? I have no idea. This probably be a wrong question, but would that entail like payroll as well, or is that like something separate?
I don't personally do payroll, but I do have a connection with ADP. That is who I work with. Okay. They offer really competitive rates for payroll, and their back office support is top notch. I have worked with other payroll companies like Paychex, Gusto, Heartland. They don't have the ability.
We literally have a piece of mail from Gusto.
We don't have employees.
It's really the online portal that I like with ADP best. It's easy to find reports that are needed. It's easy to run payroll. You can do something called run and done, so you can set up yourself on a salary if you have the right business structure to be on salary, and it automatically runs itself every single month, and you don't have to really worry about anything.
We did speak about adding that service, but we're going to see in the future if it's there's enough demand, we'll add it in. But
for right now, I'd like to outsource that just because I do have a connection, and we already work together.
So my question was going to be, so you mentioned kind of briefly that the structure of your current job is going to change in the next 4 to 5 years. Did you also, I mean, obviously you want to set yourself up to be able to, support yourself and your family and stuff like that. But, are you trying to get away from like the crazy? I know, as being my bestie, you work crazy hours during like tax season and stuff. And that's got to be really hard, for your family. You have 2 small kids, similar ages that I do. He has a business as well. Like, are you hoping to maybe not work so hard during tax seasons and stuff like that too? Like, what was beyond the potential change in your current job? What was your motivation for starting it?
Yeah, that is the main motivation, just so I can have a more free schedule for the kids. During tax season, I'm working 6 days a week and for 10 or 11 hours a day, and I don't get to see the kids on the weekends for 4 months out of the year, and then the rest of my year really just revolves around deadlines every single month, and it's been hard since we had the kids to plan vacations or to do things as a family outside of tax season, just because of monthly deadlines. And I really I want to be in control of my own schedule, and right now I don't have that flexibility. I've never had that flexibility, so that's something that I really want to move towards.
Freedom.
The freedom.
Yeah. It's like, so you go from, and it'll be a little bit different, right? We've all become the business owner where you leave the 9 to 5 to then work for yourself, and then you work 24/7.
Yeah.
But you get to like work 24/7 on your terms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, it's for yourself, so it's for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not doing it for someone else.
Yeah, I
anymore.
mean, right now I'm working and paying for someone else's dream life.
Right.
Exactly.
And obviously I get compensated for that, but I don't think I'm getting compensated for exactly my worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there for a very long time. I've been there for 17 years. So
that's crazy.
It's time for me to do exactly what my boss did at the same age, actually, and start my own, to build my own dream and work for myself.
Yeah, it's I won't say your age, but like the average like business owner, they start around 35, 40 years old. And what is it what's the other fact that like your guys always throw around of like millionaires becoming millionaires? It's like 45 or 50 or something like that.
45 or 50 is when they start like they're on, but I mean in that case they're on their like second. Technically you'd be on your second business, Alex, but you're on like your second business, and that's when they like everything you've learned in business up until then, that's when it starts to like really sink in and really starts to like make you money. But 45 is like one of the like points. So it's like I hear that, I'm like, okay, I'm not too late. I'm right on track.
Yeah. I mean, it does help because it always feels like once you finally do it, you feel like you're late to the game. Right. You feel
like
older, just because life, and you've already, many of us already have 20-ish years like work experience.
Yeah, I worked in news for 20 years.
Yeah, 21. And I got my first job at a grocery store at 15, and I've been working, but that's what I mean. Like, just, it feels a little late, because again, too, we're seeing like, on social media, you see all these much younger, people and kids. It's like, a different time. It is, but it's hard not to compare yourself to those things of like, I wish I would have started younger. Like, I wish I would have had the right role models around me.
At the same time, you need to go through that life path to be where you're at today.
It's true.
If it wasn't, if you got it earlier, you might not either appreciate it or you might throw it away a lot easier than you would now in the moment. So
yeah,
that's very
the saying, they say that life happens for you, not to you. So it's kind of like you have to go through it to do what you got to do.
According to Gary Vee, we're babies.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like 35 or 36 when he went on.
He literally said, if you're 35 years old, whatever you're doing, you're still a baby.
Yeah. I think he left his dad when he was like 36.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. We listen to a lot of Gary Vee too.
Yeah, he recently just went off on somebody on Tea with Gary Vee.
Was it the girl who got 2 years?
The girl got the company's moving to Florida. And they were giving everyone a 3-year like heads up. Yeah. And you can stay and work remote, but you just won't get any promotions. So they're not even getting fired. Yeah.
He got so mad at her.
I love this version of Gary Vee right now. He's like hot right now.
Yeah.
And he's really big on, which for makers out there, apparently the biggest thing is I forget what it's called, but
Whatnot.
basically it's the Whatnot, but he has like like in entertainment shopping. It's live shopping. It's kind of like QV, like the new version of QVC.
Yeah.
On Whatnot, he goes live and he sells his V Friends, which is like his comic book Pokemon. He claims that he's merging Marvel and Pokemon.
Yeah.
So he's got a comic strip, he has figures, and he even has a YouTube, which I'm going to look at it because he's like, if you have kids, they need to be watching V Friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to watch V Friends to see if they really do, or if you're just pushing it. I love Gary Vee, but at the same time, you're pushing a product here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he has this whole thing aside from this, like his third or fourth, because Vader Media is doing great stuff. I mean, they're doing Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah,
they're fine.
Yeah.
His wine library thing is doing great. Like, and this is just his new like passion.
Yeah,
for it. And even he says, because if you listen to him, you know he wants to buy the Jets.
Yeah,
because he loves the Jets football team.
Oh, right.
But even he admits like, I like the chase of purchasing the Jets. I don't know if I'll ever buy the Jets.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like to chase to
get
to the point where I can buy the Jets.
Yeah.
So
he really enjoys the game. That's his angle.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
The game, you know?
So we're at about the 45-minute mark. I mean, we've already passed it, but by a little. But do you have the discount that you're going to offer to everybody? If not, I can pull it up.
So do you want me to do the all listeners?
The one for everybody. The other one we'll mention later. Patrons, they get a higher discount.
They always do. Join Patreon.
So for all the listeners, we are offering a 5% discount for our monthly or quarterly bookkeeping clients that sign up with us.
Awesome.
And where can they get that?
That's inevitable. We don't want to put I don't want to put an end date.
Oh, okay.
So
Evergreen. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And where can they find you to?
Like your website and socials and stuff.
Yep. Our website is www.jtfinancialstudio.com, and socials is Instagram and Facebook at JT Financial Studio.
Awesome.
Okay. So you're not 82, so let's drop that www next time. Just say JT.
I thought it too.
I think you guys.
Because technically you forgot the HTTP //www.
Okay, can I say it over? Actually,
slacking.
No,
you are slacking.
Actually, you say it. You haven't talked enough. You're supposed to sell it. Listen, accounting is not sexy. It's not a fun thing to listen to. We have to make some kind of fun out of this episode.
Right?
Nobody wants to talk about finances. Nobody even wants to look at their QuickBooks.
I think you're sexy.
You think I'm sexy? Not the accounting.
I think you're both sexy. Okay.
I love that.
So what you should do is
you make finances sexy.
You guys should make financial content poolside. One in a bikini, one topless. You guys pick who's who.
Alex in the bikini. Just kidding.
I mean, if you really want. So.
Right?
We're gonna have to fly down to Florida for stuff like that, though.
Yeah,
just
sure.
saying.
Sure.
You know,
That's fine.
fine.
I know a place you could stay. That's 5 minutes away from the beach.
Who, us?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes with a photographer.
We don't have a pool, but my neighbor has a pool.
Would your neighbor be mad if I'm walking around his house in the thong?
He maybe, her not so much.
Right. We'll just make sure Ron's not home.
Right. They got cameras.
All right. Yeah, so we're gonna continue the conversation
over on Patreon.
Yes.
It's already getting loose, so it's
right?
gonna be fun over there.
We're gonna talk about their OnlyFans,
yes.
Only Financial.
Yes. OnlyFans where they give you financial advice.
in
swimsuits. As a couple.
Right? For sure.
So head over to Patreon if you're not a Patreon member. Now's the best time to sign up. We have great stuff going on over there. But for the rest of you, the life update's next. Life update time.
Yeah. So a little
kind of hard
movie behind the scenes, we think we kind of teased it or mentioned it in the last episode. But we recorded last week's episode yesterday. Yeah. So our life update hasn't really changed much. We're still heading out for Texas this weekend. Next week, the our oldest doesn't have school, so that's going to be
Summer camp comes to an end.
It's going to be its own struggle because he would love and expects entertainment, constant
24/7.
entertainment.
Yes.
And as much as I wish we could give that to him, we're not in that position currently. So that's always a struggle of kind of trying to find the best of both worlds, getting work done, but also not entertaining him 24/7. So yeah, and then by the time this airs for everybody, the conference Next Level is 1 week away.
Full panic mode initiated.
Legit. Hit that button. It's too late to get anything unless you can get it on Amazon within 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, pray for all of your class teachers. Ooh, that's me. I got to get together and nail down. The teachers, the speakers, the vendors. I'm 2 of those. And the podcast, which I don't really have to prepare for that much necessarily. That's all on him. But yeah, so I'm excited to see everyone. If you're going to the conference, please stop by and see us at our booth. 501 and 503, I believe, is our booth numbers.
And this time you'll be there like all day Friday, Saturday, right? Well, we'll be walking around. I have
my 2 classes on. When are my 2 classes? Are they Friday or Saturday? Saturday.
I
think so.
That's right, because Thursday, Friday,
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
so I think my classes are on Saturday.
Right. So
and
best time Thursday, Friday to stop by.
Well, and then come to my class, come to the silhouette class. Hopefully I will teach you something new.
Yep.
And then Friday evening after the classes, we will hopefully be doing our podcast.
Yes.
And tentatively we will be doing the podcast on one of those stages in the vendor room near where the tables and the food and stuff are.
Yep.
So come check out that. And I'm just excited to mingle with everyone.
Donate $1 or $2
to
or
the
$5
charity.
To the charity. So
to be determined.
So we can keep this, and Daniel has to shave his.
I kind of do want to keep it, but I want it shorter.
No, not yet.
Man. Yeah.
Yep, it's a late one.
So it's time to go to bed.
Yep.
We love you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for watching. It's been another great episode of the Right Back Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done. The Right Back Project. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Wait, hold on. Nino, I'm recording.